then, YouTube model railroader fans. I'm Ray. This is the Boeville Newtown's vlog number 1 for 2017. It happens to be January the 8th, 2017. And this is the first one of the year. Yay! A couple of things I want to go ahead and hit on tonight. Went ahead and actually became a member of yet another group on Facebook. This one here goes by, let me see, I just had it up here a second ago, and it is Budget Model Railroading. It is a Facebook group. Seems to be a bunch of nice people in there, kind of the same mindset that I have, and that's doing things economically, let's put it that way. There's been a bunch of folks in there, I've been talking to them, and trying to give them some insight as to what I've got down here with the mess that I've got down here. So if there's anybody from the budget, as long as my tongue doesn't get twisted around my eye teeth, I'll be great tonight. Yeah, this year's getting off to a great start, isn't it? For those that are joining from the Budget Model Railroading group, this is the kind of things that happen, alright? If you've had a chance or haven't had a chance to go back, I've been doing this now, and for everybody, to be honest. I've just started my 3rd season doing these weekly vlogs. Started back in December of 2015. That's when I found the YouTube model builders and Derek Glass and Barry Rosier and Big Bill Graham and the group, and you know, there's a bunch of others, and it would take way too long to go down the list. Gino, back up a second. Gino Sharp, Vinny Vids, great bunch of folks. Been hanging around on YouTube. Actually met a couple of them. A couple of the guys up here at the train show in Maryland a couple of years ago, so you'll see that. Met up a couple with Barry and Big Bill when they were up at the Strasburg Model Railroad, or the Strasburg Railroad Museum in 2015, I think it was. So, you know, it's been a great group, and, you know, I've been kind of playing around with this thing, and of course those, like I said, those that have actually been following me for a while, you know that I am not really in a position to really mess with this monster off to my right. But since I do have some new people coming in, and folks that may not have actually gone back and looked at some of the older videos, I can tell you that I've got a pike that was actually started back in 1950 by my grandfather. The original 4x8 sheet of plywood is still underneath of this thing. And when I was born, my father built one for me. The first house that my parents had, the second year we were there, the two layouts were his pike and my pike were brought together. The year after that, we completely demolished both of them and literally started, and it didn't start completely over, but we ripped up all the track and everything else and kind of moved on from there. And I added a 2-foot by 5-foot yard at one point, right around the time that I was in the service. And of course, you know, some things happened and over the years, and when my daughter was born in '99, I figured it was time to resurrect this thing, so I did. I actually had it in my basement at my house for a while, and then I moved in with my mother-in-law, and we decided to rebuild it again. And that's why it's in the present configuration that it's in. It's actually it was meant to sit in a 13-foot by 11-foot room. There's a swing bridge, which has been one of those neat topics, and if you want to really look that one up, it's under the playlist Howdy Do That. It's been a real, that's been a real conversation piece over the years as to how that was done. But, you know, so this thing, you know, we basically rebuilt this thing in somewhere around 2002. I think it was, is when I went ahead and decided to start over and put it into its present configuration, which, like I said, is 13 feet by 11 feet. At its widest point, it's 4 foot wide. At its widest point, it's 5 feet wide. And that's the one section over where Newtown sits, Newton's Farm. The rest of it is about 4 foot, and then there's a couple places where it's 2.5 feet deep. I'm kind of glad that it's in this room, though, because if it would have been still in the 13-foot by 11-foot room with some of the issues that I had, I probably wouldn't have been able to fix them as easy as I have been able to here recently. But somebody asked me asked me today, how high off the floor is your layout? Well, believe it or not, but I just measured it because I couldn't remember, even though I told them it was 36 inches at 3 feet. It's actually 37 inches when you get to the actual first deck. The second deck is at 42 and a half inches. So I was close. I said 36 and 42, so it's actually 37, 42. I was close. But I do have one other thing I want to touch on here real quick, and then I want to show something that somebody asked me about. So, actually, a couple things. First thing is over the holiday I'd gotten some gift cards. Okay. Unfortunately, they were strictly for Amazon, so I was kind of trolling around on Amazon. I think late last week. And actually ordered up some stuff, so I'm waiting for that to come. And if it works out the way it looks like on paper, it'll get here Wednesday. So here it is. I got gift cards for Christmas, and I bought stuff that's probably going to show up on my birthday. Way to go, me! Way to plan that one out, right? So I'm going to have I'll have another vlog coming up. It'll be vlog number 2 once that stuff gets here, and then. It's one of the things that I was actually thinking about, I think in 2015 when YouTube Model Builders had their big build contest, but I didn't do it. Instead, I went with the building under demolition. I probably should have stuck with the other building, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, one other thing that I did want to bring up, if anybody who has been following me knows that I ran into a couple of interesting issues. I got one of them fixed on the last vlog for last year, or second to the last vlog for last year, which is where I pulled Boeville, or part of Boeville, up because I had wires that were hanging in places that they didn't need to be, and they were knocking my passenger trains off the track, which is not a good thing. I still have the issue with the freight line. I haven't had a chance to get down here and play with that yet. I'm hoping to get down here and play with that and hopefully mess with that and get that straightened out. Like I said, I think I have an idea as to what it is, but in the meantime, I tried something else. A few years back when I designed this thing, there was a guy, I think he may have been on eBay, that was selling something that looked, it was like, you know what, for the cost, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. And it's a thing called Track Guard. And I'm not sure if anybody's ever used it, ever seen it, ever played with it, whatever. It's just fairly unique. What it is I'm going to pull one of the modified box cars that I've got, because I had to modify cars for this thing to work. Basically what it is it's just a piece of felt with a weight on the opposite end. And what's neat about these is you can actually take, and if anybody is a bowler, if anybody, yes, I'm a man of multiple hobbies, you can actually take a wire brush to this felt and clean it up and then be able to reuse it. So basically, like I said, what I did is I modified the underframe here so that this thing will sit in. It's actually on double-sided foam tape here, and then this here just rides up. So I modified the frame so that it can actually sit up inside the framing area here, and you just drag it along the track, and what it does is it picks up all the dirt and garbage and everything else. Well, after I did that on both the passenger lines and the freight lines, the way that this thing's set up, this thing seemed to be running a little bit better. I'm still not happy with the freight lines. So I'm going to get down here and I'll probably do a vlog on that in the next couple of months. I'm sure you all saw that, at least those that follow me, or had been following me, I did put up a video, I think it was right around the first of the year, talking about it was a preview for 2017. There are some things that I forgot on that video that I'm hoping I can get to. There's other things that are actually on that video that I may not get to. Like I said, I set goals for myself and I still missed them, so we'll see what happens. It was kind of nice being on vacation. I had a chance to play with that video editing software, so it was neat to just get in there and mess with it for a little bit and see what happens. And I got some thumbs up on that video, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll use that for the openings for my videos going forward. So, Mr. Jim Booth, you had a question on what I use for crawling up underneath the layout. So give me a second here. I'm going to continue to talk because even though I'm off camera, I can still make a fool of myself. I do a pretty good job of that, actually, and it doesn't matter if it's on camera or not. This here is the seat that I use underneath the layout, and I think that I mentioned it, or you all have seen it before when I was playing around with the roundhouse last year trying to get it straight. But this is what I use up underneath of there, and it's about 2.5 foot high in the back, and then of course it's about a foot and a half wide in the front. It's got some nice padding to it. And I was telling Mr. Booth, who is on that budget model railroading site or Facebook page, one of the only drawback to that is it doesn't have wheels. So, you have to kind of slide. And of course, with the way my floor is down here, I can just slide that thing across the floor. It really doesn't bother me. So, eventually, I may put a set of wheels underneath of there, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I know, I'm moving again. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to do that is I want to actually log off of Facebook, so I'm not sitting there on that right now because I don't need to be on there while I'm doing videos. So, daggone it, this daggone thing's coming apart again. Son of a brisket. It's another one of my pains in the butt. So, I did do a special video for Sparky. I had a little bit of fun. Then again, when don't I have fun? Well, the other week I didn't have fun because I was sicker than a dog. But yeah, I made a little bit of a funny shout out video for Mr. Dave Sparky107107. So. Not sure if I'm going to link that in here or not, but I may just save that for him. Then again, I may just put it at the end of this thing and have everybody have a crack-up laugh at it. So, speaking of which, I've been into this now, I think it's about 10-12 minutes, so, and I'm trying to keep these things at 15 minutes or less. Sounds like a commercial, and I know I've said that a couple of times before, but it's the truth. So, you all know the deal. You wait for the highball. The green track's ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe out there, folks. We'll see you.